The Department for Work and Pensions has announced an update that is drawing nationwide attention, with millions of people across the United Kingdom eager to know whether they will receive a £200 Christmas bonus in 2025. After years of the traditional £10 Christmas payment, this news marks what could be the most significant change in decades for pensioners and benefit claimants during the festive period. For many households struggling with high prices, this announcement could not have come at a more crucial time. The promise of a larger, more meaningful Christmas bonus has sparked both relief and curiosity, with people wondering how it works, who qualifies, and what they need to do to ensure they don't miss out. The DWP's Christmas bonus is not a new concept. It's been part of the UK's welfare landscape since the 1970s. However, the amount has not changed since its introduction, a fixed £10 that once went a long way but has long since lost its purchasing power. Critics have repeatedly pointed out that £10 today is barely enough to cover the cost of a Christmas card and postage, let alone provide any real financial comfort. The DWP's new 2025 measure, therefore, represents more than a routine adjustment. It's an attempt to modernize a system that has been frozen in time for almost half a century. The increase to £200, if fully implemented as expected, will be a direct recognition of the pressures faced by pensioners, disabled citizens, carers, and low-income individuals as living costs continue to rise. Under the new plan, the DWP is expected to distribute the £200 Christmas bonus automatically, following the same system used for previous bonuses. That means eligible recipients won't need to apply or fill out any forms. The payment would be made directly into the same bank or building society account used for regular benefit or pension payments. This move ensures simplicity and speed, helping those entitled to the bonus receive it without unnecessary bureaucracy. As with the traditional bonus, the payment would also be tax-free and would not affect any other benefits or income-related entitlements. The idea is that every qualifying individual will get the money in time for Christmas to help with festive expenses, or simply to provide a small cushion at the end of the year. Eligibility remains one of the most discussed aspects of the announcement. Not everyone receiving government support automatically qualifies for the Christmas bonus, and that rule is unlikely to change under the 2025 scheme. The payment is reserved for people who receive certain benefits during what is known as the qualifying week, which usually falls in the first full week of December. The key qualifying benefits include the state pension, pension credit, disability living allowance, personal independence payments, attendance allowance, a carer's allowance, and a range of other long-standing payments linked to disability or old age. Those receiving employment and support allowance, widow's pension, or industrial injuries disablement benefit may also qualify. It's worth noting that universal credit alone does not currently make someone eligible for the bonus, though that could change if the DWP expands the criteria as part of the reform. For couples, the rules are straightforward but specific. If both partners receive one of the qualifying benefits, they will each get the £200 payment in their own right. However, if only one partner qualifies but the other does not, there may still be a joint entitlement under certain conditions. For example, if both are over state pension age and meet residency requirements. The DWP uses the same residency conditions as before, meaning that recipients must be living in the UK, the Isle of Man, the Channel Islands, or Gibraltar during the qualifying week. Those temporarily abroad could still be eligible if they meet certain criteria, such as being part of the armed forces or working for the UK government overseas. But the general rule is that residency during the qualifying week is required. The news of a £200 bonus has come at a time when inflation, energy costs, and food prices have left many older and vulnerable people struggling to make ends meet. A one-off payment like this may not solve long-term financial challenges, but for many it represents recognition and respect and acknowledgement that the previous £10 payment has long ceased to be meaningful. The DWP's proposal has been praised by some charities and pensioner advocacy groups as a much-needed show of support. At the same time, there are questions about how sustainable such a payment will be in future years and whether it will remain a one-off gesture or become a permanent adjustment to the Christmas bonus scheme. If this becomes a recurring payment, it would mark a fundamental change in the way the UK government provides seasonal support to benefit recipients. Those hoping to receive the bonus should ensure that their personal details and benefit claims are up to date before December. The DWP uses the information already on file to issue payments, so outdated bank details or unresolved benefit issues could lead to delays. Beneficiaries are advised to check that their current claim is active during the qualifying week. If a person's claim ends or is suspended just before that week, they may not qualify for the payment. Similarly, those transitioning between benefits, for example, moving from employment and support allowance to state pension, should make sure there is no gap in entitlement, as that could affect eligibility for the bonus. For anyone unsure whether they qualify, the DWP's official website will publish a list of eligible benefits and conditions ahead of the payment period. It's always best to rely on the official gov.uk pages rather than social media posts or viral news stories, as misinformation tends to circulate whenever new government payments are announced. Some online rumours suggest that people must apply for the £200 bonus, or that the payment is limited to those over a certain age, but under the existing framework, neither of those claims is true. The Christmas bonus is not age-restricted in itself. Rather, it is linked to receipt of a qualifying benefit. This means younger people on disability or carer benefits may also receive it. Once the qualifying week passes, payments are usually processed automatically over the following few weeks, often appearing in bank accounts by mid-December. The transaction normally appears on statements with the reference DDWPXB, the XB standing for Christmas bonus. If the amount rises to £200, that same reference will likely remain, so checking your statement for this code is an easy way to confirm payment. If the money does not appear, and you believe you should have received it, the DWP recommends contacting your benefit provider directly, for example, the pension service for those on state pension or Job Centre Plus for other benefit claimants. Critics of the existing £10 bonus have long called it a symbolic gesture rather than meaningful support. Adjusted for inflation, that original payment from the 1970s would be worth around £100 today, which underscores how far its real value has fallen. The proposed £200 payment would more than correct that gap and could signal a new approach to helping vulnerable groups during expensive times of the year. Some economists have raised concerns about the cost of such a large one-off payment, noting that it could amount to hundreds of millions of pounds in additional public spending. Supporters counter that the social and psychological benefits, especially during the festive season, far outweigh the financial cost. For many older people living alone, even a modest boost can make the difference between choosing heating or food during winter. Public reaction to the announcement been mixed but generally positive. Many welcomed the change, viewing it as long overdue recognition of how difficult life has become for those on fixed incomes. Others are cautious, waiting for official confirmation in the government's winter payment schedule before celebrating. There is also debate about whether the increase will extend to all categories of qualifying benefits, or whether the DWP might apply a sliding scale based on the type of benefit received. So far, early reports suggest that the full £200 would apply equally to all eligible claimants, maintaining fairness and simplicity in the system. Financial advisors and welfare charities are encouraging people not to make major spending plans based solely on this announcement until the final policy details are confirmed. They remind everyone that while the DWP has committed to reviewing and improving seasonal payments, the government still needs to pass the necessary regulations to make it official. Nonetheless, the direction of policy appears clear. There is growing recognition that the Christmas bonus must evolve to meet modern living costs. In the broader context of the cost of living crisis, this update from the DWP fits into a pattern of new or expanded financial support for pensioners and low-income households, including the winter fuel payment, the cost of living payment, and targeted help for energy bills. Together, these measures form part of a wider strategy to protect the most vulnerable through the colder months. The £200 Christmas bonus, if delivered as planned, will be another important piece in that puzzle, offering both financial relief and emotional reassurance that people are not forgotten at a time when community and generosity matter most. Anyone wanting to stay informed should monitor official updates through the DWP.gov.uk or trusted news outlets. Avoid sources that promise early registration or ask for personal details to secure the bonus. These are likely scams. No legitimate DWP payment requires you to share your bank information outside official government channels. When the payment window opens, all eligible recipients will receive the money automatically. You will not need to apply. For now, the key takeaway is to ensure that all benefit claims are active, contact details are correct, and expectations are realistic while waiting for the DWP to release official payment dates. Whether the figure remains a proposal or becomes policy, the conversation around the Christmas bonus has reignited an important discussion about fairness, dignity, and financial support for those who have contributed to society over many years. If the £200 payment becomes reality, it will not only make Christmas brighter for millions, but also set a new benchmark for how the government recognizes the needs of its citizens in difficult times.